You don't have to get up.
I can, girl. You're going to ask the questions so I'll know what to
Yeah,
answer?
it's just simple questions. But if you want to just keep talking and elaborate, you can do that. This is just gives me ideas of what to ask and what kind of information. Okay. When and where were you born, Mom?
Was born in June the 28th, 1937, at home at 8020 Baltimore Street.
And that what was where? Baltimore Street. Where was that? Houston?
Huh?
Was that Houston?
Yeah, Houston.
Okay.
Houston, Texas. And I was born dead.
Oh.
My mother brought me back to life. The midwife and my daddy was drunk.
Oh my.
And my mama got a warm pan of water and a cool pan of water and dipped me back and forth till I cried.
Really?
Yeah, she said I didn't have no color. I was black.
Was it the cord wrapped around you, or was it just?
No, I was such a big baby. I was 13 pounds something when I was born.
Wow.
And but then I thrived.
Nice.
Here I am, 86 years later.
Well, thank goodness.
But yeah, just ain't nothing too thrilling about my life, though. So
sure it is. It's always thrilling. So, what was your full name? Or what is your full name? Not what.
Patricia Ruth Cooper was my name then.
Cooper,
when I was
that's
born.
right. That was your maiden name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And had a sister, Mary Lee, and a brother, Robert Lee.
And then there's Susie. Susan? She's
Oh,
your
no,
half-sister.
no, that's Rutledge. That's not my Cooper business.
Okay. She's...
Mama and Dad was married for 20 years, and then they got a divorce. Mama married again. Had 3 more kids, Sharon, Luann, and Susie. Rutledge.
Okay.
And I had children by that time. I got married when I was 14 years old.
Wow.
And started having babies. So, and had 7.
Dang. Boom, boom, boom.
Mm-hmm.
So, where are your ancestors from?
Alsace, France was my grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
My mother's dad. He's Jewish.
Okay.
Charlie Wolf. I don't know my grandmother's name. I gotta call Susie.
Okay.
I forgot to call her. And but she had that's 4 brothers and 3 sisters. But her mother, she never knew her mother. She never knew her daddy because they died before she was 13 months old.
Oh, wow.
And she was just raised by her older sisters.
Oh, really?
So.
Okay. So she wasn't adopted. She wasn't adopted. She was raised
No.
siblings.
No. Your Aunt Louise was married by that time, so they took care of Nanny. So.
Okay. Did you work before you got married, and where?
Yes, I was 13 years old and working at Montgomery Ward. They thought I was 16.
Oh, okay. So that's why they let you work?
My cousin got me on there.
Oh, wow.
And I worked there a year, made 50 cents an hour.
Wow. I guess that was pretty typical back then, though.
Yeah. So, And that was the only place I worked when I was young. So then I got married.
Early, yeah.
Yeah. So.
How did y'all meet? How did you and Dad meet?
Well, we met because I lived up on it was a dead-end street. I lived up on the top part. Your dad and them moved down to some apartments down at the end. And he'd drive his little 41 Chevy all the way up there to turn around. He didn't need to, but he did. And then he'd push me out the door. Go get the paper. Go do this. Go do that. And then he just one night, he took us for something to drink. He stopped and wanted to know if we wanted to go get something to drink. So me and Mary Joyce and Grace Bell all jumped in the back seat. And he says, no, one of you's got to get up here. And we said, well, which one? And he told me. So, and that's how it started.
Where'd y'all go get some drink? Was it a soda shop or?
We went to the Princess Drive-In.
Oh. To watch a movie?
Huh?
To watch a movie or?
No. It was a drive-in restaurant.
Oh, okay.
You go order burgers and stuff.
Okay.
And it just went on from there. After we went together. Well, I met him. I was 13. I told him I was 16. And then we got married 2 weeks before I turned 15. So.
Oh, wow.
But we went together all that time. So.
And how old was Dad?
Huh?
How old was Dad when?
He was 17.
Oh.
And.
And your mom was okay with that, with you?
Oh, sure. She was fine with it. My dad didn't know nothing about it, though.
Uh-oh.
He never met your dad till after we was married.
Oh, really?
And, yeah, so.
Would he not have liked it?
Huh?
Would your dad not have liked you dating that early?
No, I was his baby doll. He took me lots of places and he always waited till Nanny was all old blue jeans and cleaning house or something, then he'd come want to take me somewhere. To Galveston or somewhere. I like those club sandwiches they'd serve down there. Yeah, I was his baby doll, so.
So you had a close relationship with him?
Yeah, I did.
And your mom. You were close to both your parents, right?
Oh, yeah. So, but.
I don't think I ever met.
I used to take y'all when y'all were little to see Grandpa.
Really? I don't remember him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all were little, and then he'd come over on Avenue C when we lived over there in the Dollar's house, and he would come over there and see us.
Oh.
So.
Wish I could remember. Just don't remember him at all.
Yeah, him and Bubba stayed close, my brother, but Mary Lee wouldn't have anything to do with him. So.
Oh, really?
They never got along when when she was growing up.
Mm-hmm.
So. But what's next, girl?
What was your wedding like? What did y'all just go to the Justice of the Peace, or what did y'all do?
We went to a preacher's house, but it was way late. His wife and daughter was in their bathrobes and curlers in their hair. They were all witnesses.
Oh, really?
And we got married with a preacher.
Did y'all know him, or did you just find him?
No, your dad found him. I don't know where he found him, but he found him. And we had to do it because we'd carried the license they were about to be up if he hadn't, so.
So did y'all move in Where did he have a house? Where did y'all live?
No, I stayed with Nanny for a while.
Oh, did you?
And then he got us an apartment.
Okay. And what was Dad doing for work at that time?
He was bricklaying.
Oh, still at that time too?
Oh, yeah, he was a bricklayer. He had already bricklaying.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, he went to the 10th grade, but he quit school then and started working.
So he worked for somebody?
Worked for his brother.
Oh, did he?
Uncle JL.
Oh.
Your Uncle JL.
Is JL that much older than him?
Oh, yeah.
Or was? I guess Uncle JL's gone now. I didn't realize that.
So, they all worked for JL. And then Mose got into it. Your dad's other brother, but he never could lay or nothing. He didn't know nothing about brickwork. He just run the jobs.
Oh, really? So he didn't do the actual work?
No.
So
this is
you
very...
Tell me how old you were when you got married. So let's talk about Dad a little bit. What's Dad's full name?
James Ferguson Pogue.
And who were his parents? What were their names? And
his mother was Mary Almond. Listen. Mary Alma was her name, and she was her last name was Dixon.
Okay.
And then James and Mr. Pogue, he was James Leonard.
Okay.
And see, well, that's getting into the other people though, so I won't tell you about that right now.
Well, I mean, it's probably fine.
But anyway, see, their parents come over in covered wagons.
Wow. Yeah.
And Mrs. Pogue's mother and father were killed by Indians.
Oh, wow.
But she was a part Blackfoot Indian, blood in her.
Okay.
And but Mr. and Miss Pogue, they took the girls in. It was 2 girls, and they took them in and they raised up, and then they both married the Pogue boys.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that's how that all got,
Huh. Interesting.
But
wow. So, Dad, where are Dad's ancestors from? What?
that I don't know. I don't know that.
Okay.
And he never talked about it, and I don't think he even knew.
Oh, really? Okay. When and where was Dad born?
Your dad was born in Austin, Texas. He was the only kid born at the hospital. And he didn't weigh but a little over a pound when he was born.
Oh, wow. So he was premature?
I don't know what was wrong with him. He had something wrong, and but they said his mother used to laugh and she'd get tickled, and she said he slept in the sewing machine cabinet.
Oh, yeah.
The drawers, the little drawer. That was his bed for the longest.
Oh, wow.
Because he was so tiny.
So, do you know what Dad's father and Mom did for a living? As far as work? What did they?
No.
No?
No.
His dad wasn't a bricklayer?
Oh, no.
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 I was just wondering how Dad got into that. He just, I guess, happened into it, huh?
Yeah.
So what his dad doing it?
Yeah, see, JL and Bill both went into the Marines. And when JL come out, that's what he did.
Okay.
And Bill, he was in prison camp for 4 years. They didn't know he was alive or dead. Japanese camp. He was 18 years old and his unit got captured.
Oh, wow.
And they finally, he finally got, the United States, they went in and all them camps and they released the prisoners, and that's how they found out Bill was still alive.
Oh, wow. Did it change him? Was he a different man when he came out?
Oh, he was a mean man.
Really?
He could be very sweet, but he could be very mean.
And he's really strong and tough. I remember stories about Uncle Bill.
Yeah. But then when he got sick, with his liver, he just melted down to nothing. He was very tiny when he died.
Mm.
So.
Was that liver cancer or?
No, he had cirrhosis from drinking.
Oh. Sad.
Yeah, so. But.
So you said, who else was in the military? The Marines? JL?
JL and Bill both was in Marines.
Uncle JL didn't get captured or anything?
No.
He just finished his and then got out?
Yeah. And then your Uncle JL, he was down when they lifted the flag on Iwo Jima.
Mm-hmm.
He was down, the soldiers, the Marines that were standing around the bottom of the hill there where they put the flag. He was one of them.
Wow. That's so cool. It's crazy.
Yeah, and both of his he has two of his children died, Kathy June and Mitchell. They already died. Kathy fell out of the bed and hit her head, and they told her she was all right, and she went home and she died. And then Mitchell, he had cancer, colon cancer.
Okay.
The only one that's left is Randy, the oldest boy.
Okay.
And he came to see me about a month ago.
Oh, he was the one. Okay, you were telling me about
Yeah,
that.
he came, and then Kenneth's son Danny came with him.
Oh.
So, yeah, I was shocked. I would have never recognized them. And they came up on the porch.
Why is that? They just look different, or just older and just
older? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but Yep. Well, what else, girl?
That's crazy.
Get off on the wrong foot here.
No, actually, I was going to ask some of those questions about the military and which war and who was held POW. Because I remember you telling me prisoner of war, but I couldn't remember which uncle it was. And then as far as all of us kids, where did our names come from? Anything? How did you name us? Was it anything that, or was it just?
Well, I named Robin after a bird.
Robin.
Yeah, and her middle name is Gail, like a gale of wind, G-A-L-E. And then I named you after a Tammy doll. And then Bambi, I always wanted to name one of you girls Bambi, and your dad wouldn't let me until finally I was in labor, and he was scared I was going to have the baby in the truck, so he said, name whatever you want.
Is that from Bambi the movie?
Huh?
Is that from the movie?
Yeah,
Bambi?
well, I always loved that. I've seen that little show about 13, 14 times.
Oh, okay.
I love that show.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got me a bird, a doll, and a deer.
Sounds like a song.
Yeah.
And then the boys' names, I guess, were just random, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just.
Of course, Jimbo is Junior. But,
Yeah.
But Bob and Robert and Keith and Barry.
Yeah. See, I wanted to name Bobby just Bobby.
And not
Bobby Wayne. And the old lady that come to take the deal, she said, that's not an appropriate name. You have to name him Robert, and then you can call him Bobby. And I was just 16 years old. I just turned 16. And I never believed her, and everybody says that's bull. You could have named him what you wanted to name him.
Huh, yeah.
But, and then Jimbo after your daddy, and that got me terrible. Bobby hated me for that.
Yeah, I remember you saying.
Because
he was wondering why he wasn't junior. He's the first
Yeah.
boy.
But your dad, there I was again. He told me, don't you put that name on that boy. If it's a boy, don't you put that name on that kid. He didn't like his name.
Really?
Yeah, and he was your dad. They named him Jim Ferguson. After that, he was some kind of politician.
Huh.
And your big daddy always went to them rallies and stuff, and they liked him, that Jim Ferguson, so they named him that.
Huh.
And then they put that James over there. Now on his birth certificate I had to go get when he had the stroke. The James is gone.
Really?
It's just Ferguson. And so, but the girl up at the office, that's when they changed them over where you could get it from wherever you was. You didn't have to go to the county. And she said undoubtedly the computer missed the James part, and she said it'll work. And it did. It worked.
Really? That's crazy.
So, but your dad, he said he wondered because Billie Jean, Margie's daughter, always called him Fergie. She never called him Jim or nothing like that. It was always Fergie.
Really? So it just says Ferguson Pogue? Didn't have...
Huh?
It just says Ferguson Pogue?
Yeah, on his birth certificate.
Really?
That I sent for, yeah.
That's crazy.
So, yeah, and I was putting in for the help, the Social Security stuff and everything. It had to show a birth certificate.
Yeah.
Robin said, well, you're lucky you didn't have to show the marriage certificate. I've never gotten my marriage certificate.
Really?
No, I never went and got it. And the preacher, he had a deal he would give, but he had run out of them that night. He said, that just get from the courthouse.
But you never got it.
And I never did it.
Huh. And
Robin said, you're so lucky, Mama. You used to have to show your marriage license to collect this and that. But better knock on wood, I guess. I've had no trouble so far.
It's something happens, usually that's how it goes.
So. But.
Then Keith and Barry were just like the names.
Yeah, I was trying to think the other day, where in the heck did I pick up Barry from? Yeah, Barry is Barry DeWayne. I know, not Barry DeWayne, Barry Edwin. and Keith DeWayne, and I wanted Keith's name. I didn't want D. Wayne like it is. I wanted it DeWayne, D-U-A-N-E. And she put it down as D, a capital D, and then an apostrophe and a capital W.
Oh, really?
And boy, it spelled out Wayne.
Okay.
So.
So that's how it is. Keith DeWayne.
So.
What's Bob's middle name? Robert Edwin?
Huh?
What's Bob's middle name?
Robert Wayne.
Robert Wayne. Okay.
Yeah, he's... so, my dad was Robert, my brother was Robert, and I named him Robert. Which I wanted to be Bob, but no. But I still call him Bob. And I called his house one time, and his wife informed me there was no Bob there.
Oh, you're kidding.
His name is Robert, she said. I said, okay, thank you.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, so.
That's so silly.
But I would have passed my son on the street, Bobby, and I would have never known him. I hadn't seen him in 8 years when he finally came.
How does he look?
He looks good.
Yeah.
He's thin, but he just, how he kind of had them fat little jaws, and now he's so thin.
Does he look like Dad? I always thought he looked like Dad.
Well, Yeah,
boys.
no. I see the resemblance, but it's not that much.
No.
Like I said, I could have passed him on the street and wouldn't even known him. So.
That's crazy. Yeah, I don't think I would, because I haven't seen Bob since I was a little girl.
Yeah, and little Bob looked a lot like him, but he don't anymore because little Bob's got flesh, it's fleshy now, and
yeah,
so he don't look like his dad right now. So.
How about this is the last one I had on here, but it doesn't have to be the last we say anything. But what is your best memory in life? Do you have a best memory in life? I know you had a hard life, Mom, but.
No, I was just always happy when y'all were born. I wanted every one of you. It was just really, I enjoyed having the babies. So.
Well, you were a good mom. You had a hard job. We don't realize it till we grow up and have kids. We're like, I don't know how you did it with 7.
Well, it was. I just don't understand that people think it's so hard. I mean, it was just everyday life with me.
Yeah, but I guess it's what you know and what that's the thing, is it's whatever you know. So
yeah.
If you don't know any different, it's fine. But this day and time, everything's so instantaneous and easy that's I think why women would have a hard time doing what you did, because everything you did was by hand, from washing the clothes to hanging them dry to taking them down to you took care of all of us without much help at all from Dad.
Oh, I didn't get no help from your daddy. He never changed the diaper, nothing. No. Now with Bambi, he tried, but he would take the diaper off, but he didn't put another diaper back on. Bring me a naked baby.
Didn't know how to put it on. And of course, at that time, there were cloth diapers.
Oh,
so you had to wash them all.
Oh, yes.
Girls
have it so easy these days if they can afford throwaways. If you dirty in a diaper and have to go and flush the toilet and hold on to the deal and dunk it to get rid of it and then wash it and.
Golly. It's definitely a lot harder being a parent in those days than it is now.
Yeah, I just.
You didn't have microwaves.
No, everything had to be cooked, and
you had 7 hungry mouths to feed. That and a 7 task.
Put on that big pot of beans every morning.
Oh yeah, I remember. I loved.
And then by the evening they were gone, and then the next morning get up, put the beans on. So.
I remember having beans and bread every day for lunch. It was so good. I loved it.
Yeah, and I'd mash up them beans and flavor them up in bean and mustard sandwiches y'all had a lot of times.
I remember. And I remember being made fun of by my friends. They're like, what are you eating? And it got to the point where I wouldn't bring out my lunch and eat because I was so embarrassed that they would laugh at me. And I'd be starving.
And those Bambi's friends, they loved them, and they wanted to trade her peanut butter and stuff for that, but none of y'all would ever eat peanut butter when y'all were little.
I remember I didn't like peanut butter. It's so weird. I love it
now I think everybody likes it.
Yeah.
All of y'all like it now. But back then I thought, well, it'd be because I'd have to get up every morning and make 7 lunches for school, and then his lunch.
What'd you give him for lunch?
He had to have round steak and potatoes and beans, everything, the whole works to take out on the job, and then share it with them other guys.
Oh, jeez. So you had to cook for more than just him for lunch?
Yeah, send a big old round steak cooked and a big thing of beans and.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, your job never stopped. Yeah.
And it never bothered me.
I know. That's amazing.
Yeah, and I enjoyed, being up there on the hill, and I loved it in the springtime. All them wildflowers would come in bloom and smell that honeysuckle and everything. Oh, it was good.
It's good memories. For
so.
Sure. Yeah.
probably still be in that old farmhouse if Slaughter hadn't have made us move because he wanted to tear it down and build a home up there.
Mm-hmm.
So.
A big mansion.
Yeah.
Mansion on the hill.
Yeah, but there's no hill no more. You know, when you and the kids
Yeah, it
and
was
we
shocking. I didn't even recognize the place really.
No,
It was like,
it's in all of those. They put all that Walmart and all that stuff in there now. We didn't have none of that. All we had was that little country store.
Mm-hmm. I remember going and taking bottles, take them and get
The
5
deposit
cents or whatever we get for it and buy candy.
Yeah, you had to buy. You know, you had to pay deposit on bottles back them days. So.
Yeah.
And they come in handy a lot of times, selling them back and get the money.
Yeah. Remember, I think it was 5 cents a bottle, or was it less than that? Remember?
Yeah, 5 cents.
The candy was like, all the pieces of candy were like 1 cent.
Yeah.
So we could get a bunch of candy.
Yeah, I remember that lady at the store telling me how nice y'all always was. She said, you got the nicest children. They come in, they don't bother nothing. They just get what they want and pay and go.
It's because we were scared of Mom. You were good at discipline for sure.
Oh, boy.
But that's a good thing.
Yeah.
It was respect. For sure. You don't see a
Yeah,
lot of that
you know,
anymore.
and we could take y'all to the store with us, and y'all knew not to touch nothing or ask for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Always, y'all like the candy cigarettes. Always wanting
Pretend
those, so
smoking.
we'd buy y'all boxes of those to have, and for being good.
Yeah. Not a bad price to pay for a good kid. But I remember those.
So.
So funny. Wow.
Yeah, when we first moved up on the hill, though, you wanted, I was busy, and you wanted cereal and milk. And I didn't get to it fast enough, so you got the gallon of milk out, and you spilled it all over the table. And I got mad and yelled at you. And then you disappeared. And I had Barry there. He wasn't in school. I had Bambi was a baby. And, she's about 13 months old.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't find you nowhere. And I just could picture you fell down one of them old wells out there or something. Finally, I got them ready, and we were going to have to walk to town to use a phone. We didn't have a phone.
Oh, jeez.
And all of a sudden, Barry said, there she is, Mama. You was hid behind the damn chair all the time. Scaring me to death.
I was scared of what you were
But I
doing.
like to hug you to pieces, girl. I was so happy to see you.
Oh, so I guess I was scared of spilling the milk.
Yes, because I yelled. I did a lot of yelling. But
Well, now I understand. At the time I didn't, but now I understand.
Oh, boy. But...
Wow. Some good times.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I loved it on the hill. God, I'd still be in that old farmhouse if it had to be tore down.
We had fun there as kids, man. Lots of good memories.
That's what Keith talked about all night long when he was dying. Him and Barry. Barry held him in his arms like a baby. Because he couldn't hold his head up anymore or anything. And they talked about up on the hill. The boys always wanted to go back to the hill, that life, you know.
Yeah.
Too late, we couldn't, so.
Yeah. But that's how good the memories were.
Yeah.
That you hold on to.
And I loved the rent. It wasn't but $45 a month up there.
Really? Golly. Was that like a normal price rent anywhere, or was that just a really good deal?
It was a good deal. No, it's, your dad, we was riding around trying to find a place. We was living in Converse, and we had to move, and so we stopped it down there. They had a rent for rent sign, but he said no, he wasn't renting to people with a lot of kids.
Mm-hmm.
He told me, he said, that farmhouse up on the hill there is empty. And so he told him to go to the grain office. Mr. Slaughter's brother run the grain office, and he rented to Dad.
Oh.
And Fritz, the guy that owned it, though, he was out of town. And when he got back, he didn't want to rent it anymore because he had trouble getting his rent from the people, and he finally got him out, and he didn't want nobody else. But we got along good. I mean, we always paid, and
he was the banker.
Yeah.
And his brother owned a grain store.
The grain store, yeah.
I remember I went to elementary with John Slaughter, but I remember if that was
that was the other one's. That was we rented for Fritz.
Okay, it was the
and
other.
It was his brother's
I remember
child.
having a big crush on John, but he didn't like me.
Bambi used to. I mean, not Bambi, but Robin used to babysit them all the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she was scared because they lived out there on that farm too, and there was no locks on the doors, and but then nobody bothered her. So
yeah, it was safer back in those days.
Yeah, the only thing we had to worry about was wetbacks coming through.
Yeah,
and they were always nice.
They
You
were
know,
always
your dad
nice, it
always
seemed
fed
like.
them frijoles and.
Yeah, I remember.
But
I remember one time they were out there working, and I went out there, and there was one. I think Bambi and I climbed a tree or something. We were watching them.
Oh.
And one of them showed us this like nut-looking thing, and we couldn't understand what he was saying. And he was.
It was a spider.
Oh my!
Yeah,
he
that
opened
was
it up,
old
and this
jokester that lived up
big
there.
spider. And we screamed. I remember, oh my God. And I remember Barry wasn't scared of spiders. He'd put them in his pockets and stuff.
Oh, yeah. We called Barry every time that we had those old biting grasshoppers.
Oh, those were
there.
scary.
And boy, we'd be yelling for Barry all the time. He'd come grab them, take them out.
They were big, and they did bite.
Yeah.
They'd get under our sheets at night. I remember you could see them like crawling, and like, oh shit. And if you didn't see them, they would actually sting you.
Yeah.
People thought we were crazy when we'd say that because no one else ever heard of stinging grasshoppers, but we had.
Oh yeah, yeah. We had another kind of bug up there too that was it was flat and it would bite you too. It was
really.
So.
Were they like? Did they like hide under the bed, like? Meaning under the mattresses and stuff? Yeah, I remember those. Those were gross too.
Yeah, and then that one night that scorpion got me. I didn't want it to wake your dad up. He was drunk.
And you had to hold your stream in?
The moonlight was coming through and we had cover sheet on and I seen it going across the cover sheet at our feet, just traveling on. Before you knew it, it had bit me on the butt.
Oh, and what did you do? Did you just
I come out of that bed screaming. Your dad, he threw the mattress on the floor. And
that hurt.
Yes,
sure.
it did. So.
Did you catch it and kill it?
Dad killed it finally.
Finally.
But he threw it down there and then laid back down and the dang thing was right there on the pillow beside us.
Ooh.
Oh, I'm telling you.
So it wasn't dead yet? It got back up there?
No.
Dang.
Well, just throwing the mattress wasn't going to kill it unless it got under the mattress. So, but I didn't want to say a word, but I had to. I come out of that bed fast.
Yeah. I wanted to talk a little bit about it was our house and the stuff that we experienced there haunting wise.
Oh yeah, just that most people don't believe, but I would be there alone by myself. I'd be out there on that screen in the back porch doing the washing, and I'd hear something, and I'd look up and I'd see a shadow going by that door. I'd tell them, hey, you ain't running me out of my house. I'm not leaving this house. This is mine. And then that night that Robin and Mike was there, it was in a month and it was a full moon and they could hear something walking up across that entrance porch we always came in.
Mm-hmm.
Back and forth. They said it sounded like clumping boots. And I guess it was, I could hear it too. They woke me up and told me. But I never was scared up there.
Yeah.
So
I don't remember really being scared, but I do remember experiencing stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember you were telling us about Robin seeing the lady do the creak of the door.
Yeah. And then, you know, that when we first moved there, we made y'all's bedroom right in the living room part, right next to the kitchen. And I had that old metal high chair for, and they could hear that being dragged around, they said.
I remember hearing
the kitchen
that.
And during the night.
Yeah.
So.
And then light switches, you had those light switches that were like loud, they clicked, and they would turn off and on. Like,
yeah, you and Bambi and me were there, and
like it was in y'all's bedroom. We were in the living room, right?
It was we were in the living room, and that was the bedroom. We had the door closed because it was cold. Dad had to move the knob, and so it left a hole, and so we could see the light, and we heard it flip on, and the light would be in. Anyway, first I got on to you girls. I said y'all had been in there and left the light on, and. Y'all kept saying, we didn't go in there, Mother. We did not turn on the light. So I just opened the door and stuck my hand in there and pulled the light switch down. And in a minute, it went back on.
Yeah, I remember that so vividly. It was so, because we thought someone was actually in there, but it was nobody there.
Nobody, no. And then Dawn was big pregnant with Bambi. And I'm with Jamie, and we'd been to the store, and we went in, and we were there in the kitchen, and we could hear somebody, a heavy stepping in the back in the bedroom. I knew nobody was supposed to be there, but you couldn't lock that old doors. I mean, if you locked it, it was just a skeleton key. Anybody could have got in.
Yeah.
And so I told her, get your purse, and let's get out of here. And so we got out the door, and then I heard Bobby's car coming up the trail, him and Jimbo. They had been drinking. They went all through the house, though, and they didn't find nothing.
Yeah. It's just the stepping that we kept hearing, and there were so many things I can't remember.
And then the night I went to pick up Robin from that middle school dance and left all y'all asleep. Your dad was asleep, too, and I run over there to Dobie and picked her up, and come back, and after we all went back to bed, well, there was this big black form coming across the bed. I could see it with the moonlight, and your dad, I was nudging him, and he was nudging me. He could see it too. And then all of a sudden it was gone.
Weird.
So... And I don't know whether you remember or not, but it had our wall over by that little closet. It looked like a lady's leg, and with a ballet slipper on.
But it was like I know what you're talking about. It was like a stain.
Yeah, stain. Yeah. And so I always wondered how that happened.
Because it looks so perfect.
And then after we moved down to town, the boys snuck back up there and put a tape recorder into me and Dad's bedroom. And they went back and got the tape recorder, and Bobby got so weirded out from it, he destroyed it.
Oh, man.
He said all the noises you could hear going on, and the house was empty at that time. So I don't know. I mean, a lot of people don't believe it, but it happened.
It did.
We lived it.
I know, it's true, but it did.
But I was not going to leave there.
Yeah, you were brave. We were so young, we didn't get it. You know, we knew what was happening, but if you weren't scared, then we weren't scared, basically. So that was good that you played tough.
Yeah, but what I was worried about is when we first moved out there, the older ones had the Ouija board.
Oh yeah, I remember down in the cellar we'd play that.
And they always said that Bobby was going to marry a woman named Nancy. And then it said there was 7 ghosts in the basement.
Wow.
And I made y'all get rid of that Ouija board. They say don't use those.
I know.
Because it brings bad spirits in. I don't know.
Well,
Opens a
I
portal.
kind of believe it though now. I mean, honestly, you mess with that world and you invite it in.
Yeah.
Right? And we did that a lot. So we might have invited that stuff in there.
Yeah, you know, so. But we always played it when we were kids. Nothing, you know, didn't have no problem. So. But that house, I guess, was just, you know, it was so old and everything. So I remember the wallpaper in the kitchen. They had it across the ceiling everywhere, wallpaper. And it got to sagging. And I couldn't stand that sagging. So I got up on the table and tore it all down. And I had old newspapers. I had them out there. I don't know if they're still out there or not. But from years and years ago, they had put newspapers and then put the wallpaper on.
Really? That's interesting.
And I saved them thinking they'd be worth something sometime.
If nothing else, they're interesting.
Yeah. And so, but...
Yeah, I wonder if they're still out there, if they're even...
I don't
It's been
know.
so many years, though, the weather might have...
They, I think I put them in that trunk, you know, that metal trunk with your dad's, all his Western books he liked.
Oh, yeah.
That place was so nice. When I first come back, it was all cleared out. Now it's all full again. Just I can't even walk in there. So full.
Mm.
So.
Is it pretty watertight, or does water get in there?
No, I don't think the water gets in there. Well, the windows, some have that. When Louisa lived over there, her boys shot the windows with BB guns some, and so, and you know, right at the edge probably would be, but I got that bed that was in there, and the mattress is probably eat up.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure.
And I got my roll top desk out there, and the bottom part of, well, it's not that one, but china cabinet your dad bought me, so I got in the bedroom, the top part. And it's out there. It's just got everything out there. Even my electric cooker that I bought when I was down there with y'all, and I fixed those little hens in there.
Oh, yeah.
And it's out there boxed up. I don't know how. So everything's out there.
Good stuff, Mom. Kids will love listening.
I don't know.
I will. Save it forever and... I love you.
I love you too.
Thanks for giving us this time. You need anything from the store?
Oh, I'm all right. I'll be all right.